Nearly 15 million people around the world have died from the impact of COVID, directly or indirectly, during the first 2 years of the pandemic.
Finally get to tell you, I'm going back on tour.
The website fully crashed and it put me back at the beginning.
Ticketmaster did Taylor Swift so wrong, she's already put out 3 albums about them.
The disgraced Theranos founder and CEO
Elizabeth Holmes on 4 of 11 charges for her role in a years-long fraud scheme.
I don't send you back to jail.
The Supreme Court has ended 50 years of federal abortion rights.
BTS.
Could soon be drafted into the South Korean military.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
We left everything and just fled. I don't know whether we can ever come back.
The gas will be a major pressure point.
Along with the rising cost of energy, governments are tackling record inflation and an economic slowdown. It's been a fierce race against time for European nations looking to fill up their gas storage ahead of winter.
Sabotage at sea, that's what President Biden is calling the leaks and explosions on the Nord Stream pipeline.
Satellite images show the extent of the damage on the bridge. The only link between Crimea and Russian land partially collapsed after a major explosion which set a train on fire and killed several people.
It is a moment they've longed to see, and the euphoria of liberation was impossible to contain.
In this war, we stand, we fight, and we will win because we are united.
They've been called the worst floods in Pakistan's history by the country's Prime Minister.
Climate change is making weather events more extreme, more dangerous.
Met Office issuing its first ever red warning for extreme heat.
Wildfires are ripping through Europe and parts of northern Africa.
Final chapter in the blockbuster legal saga between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
He's been messaging with it all day and he has no idea it's an AI.
It's ChatGPT from the firm OpenAI, and more than 1 million people have had a play with it since it launched.
February 2021. That's when a major AI company called OpenAI announced DALL-E, which they named after these guys.
Silicon Valley venture capital firms are pouring hundreds of millions into these companies. Stability AI, OpenAI, and Midjourney.
I quit.
Twitter is reportedly laying off about half of its 7,500 employees today, just a week after Elon Musk officially took control. Elon Musk on whether he should quit as Twitter CEO shows the majority of those who took part voted in favor of the move.
Thousands of people have gathered outside Balmoral, Buckingham Palace and Windsor to remember the Queen.
It's extraordinary.
Hier in Deutschland wurde sie bewundert und verehrt.
Huge part of my life, my family's life.
Every image is a new discovery, and each will give humanity a view of the universe that we've never seen before.
As far as we can tell, our first planetary defense test was a success.
Draupadi Murmu became the first tribal woman and only the second female to occupy the top constitutional post in the country.
Gautam Adani, the Indian tycoon who has climbed the wealth rankings at breakneck speed this year, has surpassed Jeff Bezos to become the world's second richest person.
This increased research and development funding is going to ensure the United States leads the world in the industries of the future.
Exchange stocks closed the day on a down note.
A military exercise in central Taiwan. A rehearsal for war.
Beijing taking steps to increase its military pressure on Taiwan.
When the glory and the pain is gone, it's the failures that make you strong. Can you see the path you're walking on? This is a warrior's road.
Cristiano Ronaldo is to leave Manchester United by mutual agreement.
Serena's last dance.
As we say goodbye to Roger Federer, the finest we've ever seen.
Thank you to the Academy for
letting our coda make history tonight.
You're not going to just be representing you, you're going to be representing every little black girl on earth.
What's happening?
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
Mighty.
High tax rates damage Britain's competitiveness.
It's ticking every second, and it's ticking lower. This is literally just over the course of today.
What does that tell us?
In the simplest terms, last week, the new government's astonishingly large tax cuts and plans to borrow sparked a collapse in the pound and surge in government borrowing costs.
I will remain as Prime Minister until a successor has been chosen.
This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level.
Recession that will be deep and long. It's the price we have to pay for financial stability.
To the streets across Iran, angry at the government after a woman died while in police custody.
In cities across Iran, women are showing displays of defiance against the strict dress code, burning their hijabs while large crowds cheer them on.
An iPhone 14 Pro Max come in 2 great sizes, now with even thinner borders, more active area, and a dynamic island.
Apple becomes the first to be valued at $3 trillion.
It lets you meet in mixed reality and share the same space.
The most searched for word around the world in 2022 is Wordle. That's right, Wordle, the vocabulary game which exploded in popularity largely in 2021 during the pandemic when people were looking for something fun to distract them.
With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto safely.
FTX. It filed for bankruptcy just today, and its CEO
charged FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried with 8 counts of fraud and conspiracy.
And the company, once valued at $32 billion, is now scrambling to figure out how to pay its investors back.
Well, shares in Facebook owner Meta plunged by around 20% in after-hour trading, knocking a massive $200 billion off the company's value.
Amazon is preparing to lay off up to 10,000 workers. Meta is cutting 11,000. Netflix has made big cuts, so has Shopify, Snap, Twitter.
We unswervingly insist on zero COVID.
Evergrande is also the world's most indebted developer. The firm has more than $300 billion in liabilities.
Chinese mortgage holders have been withholding repayments en masse as they wait for their homes to be finished.
The full display of unity and loyalty is exactly what Xi Jinping wants.
In China, violence erupted at the world's largest iPhone factory.
COVID-19 spreads unchecked in a country with little immunity or vaccine protection following Beijing's abrupt lifting of restrictions.
The only way to make our democracy stronger is if we fight for it.
Democracy is literally on the ballot.
Our country's successful, safe, and glorious. I will probably have to do it again.
Hey, buddy, Joe Biden, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
President Biden looked relieved. The so-called red wave didn't happen.
Navaz, what have you got, Navaz? Ashwin goes over, clears the infield. India win a famous win.
He's hit it leg side. It's Ben Stokes with the winning runs. Who else? It's always Ben Stokes with the winning runs.
Well, in the final minutes of the final day, the brilliant title race, mission accomplished in the Premier League for Manchester City.
Success for Florentino Perez's club. Spanish champions and now yet again champions of Europe. Messi!
Now UK is marred with
single-digit inflation numbers at present. With soaring energy prices, the country's inflation rate has crossed 10% mark.
Increasing prices are happening in many sectors of business and industry across Germany.
Every aisle of the supermarket, you're going to be paying more. This is a huge burden for most families, now paying nearly $450 more a month just for the basics than they were a year ago.
The COVID-19 pandemic delivered a global economic shock of enormous magnitude. Economists predicted that it would lead to steep recessions that would last for decades.
Scientists at a U.S. federal research facility say they were able to conduct a controlled fusion reaction here on Earth in a way that, crucially, produced more energy than it consumed.
Meteorologists are calling it a once-in-a-generation weather event.
And in Rome at St. Peter's Basilica, where the faithful joined Pope Francis to celebrate Mass.
It is the release of dangerous ancient microbes buried deep under the permanent frozen zone. And this is according to researchers who revived nearly a dozen viruses, including one frozen under a lake more than 48,000 years ago in the Siberia region of Russia.
In Tuvalu, we are living the realities of climate change, sea level rise, as you stand watching me today at COP26. We cannot wait for speeches when the sea is rising around us all the time. Climate mobility must come to the forefront. We must take bold, alternative action today to secure tomorrow. Tuvalu Moderno.